Hi, João. Nice to have you here. It's been a while, but we worked together in quite a few projects, and we're going to be talking a bit about today about architecture and architecture projects and how licensing and construction and renovations can go, and some things that you can be aware of and pitfalls. Um, Here in the Portuguese market, that can be a bit chaotic, as we all know. We both have our own personal experiences and chaotic times on these things. So, for everyone watching that does not know, my name is Ana Caramujo. I'm the owner of Savvy Catch Realty. Savvy Catch Realty is a relocation and investment agency that supports expats in moving to Portugal in a lifestyle way, and we help with all the steps of the way. So we will help you find the right location, then get you your either rental or purchase and give you all the recommendation and negotiation in between. And then we also support with project management for construction and renovation. And in that sense, we often work with architects like João, who is here today. João works in a bit. He was just telling me that he's now working also in Lisbon, but he's based in Famalicão. So, do tell me a bit of how your work has been in the past few times.
Hi Anna, thank you very much for being here for your invitation. I'm glad to be in here, and I am João Pedro Rocha. I'm the architect, as you said, and talking about my job, my career. I started with in construction directly, talking with clients and managing the construction site, the workers, and then give the clients the final project. And I've been in all phases of the work, not only the construction, but also the projects on camera. And then I decided to be working by my own side, and now I'm only architect. I'm in construction too, in my own jobs, and I'm very, very glad to do that. And in Portugal, we have a lot of things that we need to be careful, and one of them are cameras.
Yes, it's one of my major nightmares. Yes.
Yes, it's been all of them. As you
And
said,
just a side comment here is that for people looking to purchase, even if you are not looking to do anything major, you there's two types of licensings here in Portugal. There's one that we just call the pre-warning, that you just warn camera that you're going to make some changes and you don't have to have a formal license. And then there's the formal license. But here in Portugal, even with the pre-warning and even when you want to purchase something that you are not planning on doing anything major on, it's fairly common that documentation and licensings are missing, especially in more rural areas. So that
mhm.
is something that you, as a buyer, may face and should be aware of. And actually, a situation that we are dealing with right now, and it's not uncommon at all. We've had it happen basically all over the country.
Yes, that's true, unfortunately. And the time it's a nightmare too, to have their answers, especially to simple things. They are formal steps to do, and camera. I think it's a nightmare.
It's
It's not
bureaucracy
simple at all.
mostly. You just have to follow these steps, whether or not they
Mhm.
are useful.
Yes. So, as you said, I'm based in Famalicão, but my main work is in Porto and in Famalicão, and I'm also working in Lisbon because now I have a partnership with another office in based in Setúbal, and now we are working together in Lisbon too. It's recent. It's the 6, 7 month we started working there. So about let's talk about cameras because it's the first step to keep in
Most
mind.
things.
Yes, 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 yes. Because we can't do anything without licensings, all the documentation, and all the all these steps that they
These
are
papers,
necessary
basically,
to
and forms and
go
things.
forward. Yes, we can't construct, especially simple things. Let's talk about change a little bit our house from our facade. We want to change a small window and open it all the inside to outside and have a big window. Even that we need to have a licensing from camera. And if we do the construction before after that can be a problem and it's not necessary. Okay, so everything that we want to do, we need to talk and have the approval from camera.
And it
Okay.
because it's such a pain, often people, especially in rural areas, they do all these changes to their house and then they only remember, oh, I haven't licensed this when they need to sell it.
Yes, and it take a lot of time, especially when people want to do fast construction. Well,
There's no such
let's
thing in
talk about the
Portugal.
window. It's the example, the window. I want to do that because I want to live in my house. I bought it and I want to live in it. So I want to do that. And camera, it can take 3, 4 months to have the approval. And it's
If you're
it takes
lucky.
too much time. But it depends too in which camera we are talking about. Biggest houses, more time delay. Okay. The other, we can have some help and try to be in all the on the front of the process, and it's not daily but weekly talking with camera to know the what's the way and the step of the process, just to make sure that things can be faster than
Yeah,
usual.
and that's a big culture clash, especially for my American clients, because they are used to having daily updates and very fast responses, and things are
Mhm.
usually done in like 2 business days at most. That's not the case with basically anything here in Portugal. A weak response is a fast response. And when it comes to town hall, you will be waiting months. So that is something that you, as a buyer in Portugal, you really need to get your mind to, because you really need to be patient.
Yes, a lot, because I think for the Portuguese people are very patient,
We have
very
to
patient.
be. We don't have a choice. It's like either you deal with it or you're just going to be mad, and it's not worth being mad. So you deal with it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But to do all the legal things, we need to be patient, as you said, and we need to do all the steps just to make sure everything will be fine and we'll not have any nightmares, even talking about the timeline, the approval from camera. But they
And
are,
it can be very frustrating because it does not, as a project manager and you as an architect, it does not depend on us. Like we can go to town hall and pressure them and make meetings and so on, but in the end, town hall is the one that has to give the response, and they are very often delayed, and there is absolutely no consequence.
yes. But in fact, I can understand too why we need to talk with camera with all the process to do the construction and that those phases, because we need to understand that we have culture with all countries, and we have an architectural culture in here that we need to preserve it. So let's talk about Porto. Porto, it's a historical place. If we haven't those steps to make, probably Porto was not Porto
Yes, and I agree with that. I actually think it's very positive that when the town halls have very specific requirements to maintain a certain aesthetic
Hmm.
front and keep the identity of the city, that is very important. And I think Porto has been doing a fairly good job at that. You rarely say things that are completely out there. And another city that I think has done a bit quite good job at it is Aveiro. It likes to keep those kind of fisherman vibe kind of thing, and I really like the how the city planning has been doing. But often in other locations, and I don't know if you are working in Stubal, but Stubal is one of those places that I think it's really all over the place, and it sometimes bugs me how all over the place the architecture is there.
Yeah, 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 that's true. And that's part of the identity of the city. The identity, sometimes it's not the identity of the city, but only of that place, as you said,
Yes.
of the fishermen,
Even
and that's
the
that.
neighborhood, especially, downtown and those kinds of more historic places, it makes complete sense.
Yes, and sometimes it's not historical place, but we can make it historical because they have a story, they have something different than other places, and we need to preserve it. I think it's very good. Sometimes cameras uh, can uh, can can help us to do what we
Sometimes.
want sometimes, but we need to make sure that the identity and the culture is there and it's to preserve. That's the reason that I think cameras are doing a good job. Cameras can make mistakes. Câmara do
And
Porto
they can be
already made,
approved.
and
And now
Porto.
talking about the windows, there's this project with one of my clients that we had that whole ordeal with the windows because they wanted them aligned, but like in one of the sides it had one alignment and the other had a different alignment, and we're like, how do we align it?
Yes, that's true. That's true. And it depends on the technician that we have in the process or in camera,
Yeah.
because sometimes some architects and engineers on camera can have different visions about the projects and about the identity of the city. So it's like a ping pong
Yes.
when we are talking about cameras. Okay, we have some rules to understand and to make sure that they need to be approved. So, but some technicians are more open to
Yeah.
architecture and more open for the future because
And,
it's
and
about
and
that.
sometimes it's a bit about luck, isn't it? About who you get.
Yes. Imagine Guimarães. Guimarães, one of the most beautiful cities that we have in Portugal. Yes, that's true. But Câmara de Guimarães, in the historical place, it's the worst camera to talk and the worst camera to work with. Why? Because we need to preserve everything, everything, even the wall that it's not aligned and perfect. No, no, no. It's to be like that. That wall, it's the identity of the city. It's to preserve. And sometimes for us architects that we like to have everything aligned and
No, and
perfect.
I admit it's very complicated because you have these old typical historical buildings in the north side that are, tall and thin, and it's very hard to optimize the divisions within if you cannot touch the walls.
Yes, yes. And they want, in this case, in Guimarães, they want to preserve everything. But if we talk about the living out there on the city, it's different too because we don't have other city like that in all over Portugal. We don't have.
No, it is.
It's
It is
very,
definitely
very,
a very, very beautiful city.
yes, it's very, very special. A very, very special city, but complicated too.
Go
But
visit it. Don't do works there in the city center. Just go visit.
yeah, no, in the center, no, 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 no. Do that, but being we need to be in mind to be this idea in mind. Okay, I want to do something in here, but I know it will be hard to have what I want.
Yeah.
It's not about I can't have what I want. it will be hard to have what I want. I think this is the idea
That applies much more, like you're saying, to city centers. For people that are going to do somewhat more rural or suburb areas, usually the restrictions aren't as tight as city, especially historical locations and so on. So that can definitely be a factor of choice if you are looking to invest and develop and renovate. Keep in mind that historical locations and city centers will likely make the approval and licensing more complicated than suburbs and rural areas.
Yes, that's true. So, but we have something good too about cameras, because when we want to renovate the interior of a building, and we want to maintain what we have in there. Imagine a building, and that building have 4 apartments, and we want to renovate 4 apartments. We can renovate them without talking with camera, because we are do a remodulation. We can't change the exterior, but the inside we can do everything we want. If we don't change the structure and some engineer projects that we need to talk with camera, but small renovations, we can do that. And camera accept that, and camera say yes, clap the hands, because cameras, they have a lot of work, and sometimes it's very, very difficult, even because they have times
They are
to.
understaffed. Very more often than not, they are understaffed, and there is a lot more things that need done that actually workers to do them, which is a management problem, but we have to deal with it.
Yes, unfortunately, because they have they have a lot of workers over there, a lot of architects, a lot of engineers. I think the problem is there are too many people for one
Yeah,
process.
it goes through so many hands.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
And sometimes one say yes, and the other one, no, 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 it's no. Get back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
change. And can be a problem. But it is what it is. And fortunately, we can have some help in camera, because when we know all the rules and everything on some cities, like in my case, more in Porto and Famalicão, I know
Yeah,
all
and I
the.
was curious, have you been experiencing the Lisbon town hall yet? Because I've heard so many horror stories about Lisbon
Yeah.
the town hall. So how has that been?
Honestly, if you work well with Porto, you work well with Lisbon. The only difference, it's Lisbon, it's a bigger delay time,
Yeah, it's much more
because
things, like
yeah,
so many projects, so much construction happening.
yeah. But it's similar like Porto. I think, especially the website in Lisbon, I like it a lot. I
It
think it's
works
very
better than
simple,
I
very
actually like
intuitive.
the Porto one quite.
It's intuitive too. It's simple, direct. We can follow all the process in the same place. We can change in pages. I think it's very, very good. If we have some doubts, we just search for it, and it's direct to the page. I think they are very good, very, very, very good. And Lisbon too. And I couldn't expect something different, because it's the capital. But yes, in Lisbon, the well, until now, everything is going good, and the delay is a little bit bigger, unfortunately. But the answers, they have been good, and
Yeah.
for us and for our cabinet, like Porto,
Yeah.
fortunately.